This is Knockhill Racing Circuit in Fife, and drivers are getting last-minute practice here for the Ingliston Formula Ford race. Over 30 cars will be competing on Sunday, and one of the men tipped to do well is Tony Gemmell from Edinburgh. Racing is in his blood. His father competed in Formula Ford when it started in the 60s, and Tony was voted the most promising newcomer by the Scottish Motor Racing Club last year. Motor racing is always thought of as a sport that involves big money. Well, how much is Tony's new car worth?
Well, you could buy, I suppose, I've never actually priced this car brand new, but I suppose complete with engine and gearbox, you'd be talking about 7,200 thereabouts. But you can buy yourself a good second-hand Formula Ford for anything between 1,500 and upwards. You know, it's not that expensive to get a car.
So it can be a hobby?
Yes, it can be a hobby. You can go out and enjoy yourself relatively cheaply.
For lay people who know their own cars at home and have seen the Formula One cars on the television, and just where does this Formula 4 come in? What size of engine is it?
Well, basically, it's a 1600cc Ford engine, which is unmodified, or is supposed to be unmodified, and which helps in keeping the cost down, but it'll still put you along the road quite quickly.
Let's talk about speed. What's the top speed?
Well, again, it's really a non-issue for racing cars. But I suppose you could get 130 miles an hour out of it, maybe 135. It depends on how you've got the car geared. We gear it for about 125, 130 for this circuit.
Yes.
Only 115 for Ingliston.
Right. Now, that's where you're competing on Sunday at Ingliston. So that is the kind of speed that spectators will see at...
Out of a Formula Ford, yes. 115 miles an hour on the straight. But bearing in mind that on some of the corners, like the S-bends, the S's at Ingliston, you're going around there, through there, between 90 and 95 miles an hour, which is quite considerable through a corner.
Just one final question. How dangerous is Formula 4 competition?
Well, it would be foolhardy to say that it isn't dangerous, but in Scotland it's as safe as you can possibly get it because of various factors. For instance, exceptionally good track marshalling. These cars are built to crash if it should occur. Generally it does. But they are built to crash. They've got a roll bar, they've got a fire extinguisher system which you pull and it fills the car up with foam or powder, whatever, and it has a roll bar here. But it is dangerous. I've never been hurt in a car yet, though I've had numerous crashes. On the other hand, my father did. He broke 17 bones, but it was unlucky. But it's as safe as you'll get it in Scotland. The other thing about racing in Scotland is you're not doing the tremendously high speeds that you are in Formula 1, where if you have a crash at 200 miles an hour, then you know about it. Whereas at 130 miles an hour, by the time you actually hit something, you might have dropped your speed through braking and sliding down to about 50, which is still a fair wallop.